This is about extra gear that you may or may not need. I'm gonna start with a few different suggestions for people that are new and just always good to have. I like to carry a spare carabiner. I carry a couple of sizes of these. It's nice to be able to clip things onto my gear, also to be able to clip things onto my float. This is a stopper for weight belts. I can never really have enough of those. I like to have multiple weight belts assembled at the same time, and they're just very useful to make sure you don't break a toe with having a weight fall off. This is a snorkel keeper. It's essential for anybody's dive kit. These are fin keepers. So how these work, if I wear different size foot pockets in the pool versus the open water, open cold water, I should be specific. So these fins are actually quite loose on me if I were to wear them with just barefooted. So what I'll end up doing is, if I don't feel ready to invest in 2 foot pockets yet, I can get a fin keeper. So the fin keeper goes onto the foot, slides up like that, you put your fin on, and then this bottom slides onto the bottom of the fin, and then it is a little more stable. So that's really nice if diving in current. Sometimes fins can get knocked off, so that does give you a little extra protection. You don't want to lose it. This here is a lanyard. If you do any line diving in dark waters with low visibility, this is essential. So this is what keeps us hooked to a dive line. If you're taking your first freediving course in water with poor visibility, your freediving instructor is going to have a lanyard for you. But if you start getting your freediving kit together, you will end up having a lanyard in your kit for when you're out practicing diving on the line with your dive buddies. These guys get connected to the wrist and they fit real tight. So you never want your lanyard to fit loose. This is your lifeline if something were to happen at the bottom. And this hooks on and then hooks back to you when you're not diving on the line and you're just safetying. Wanted to show you a couple of other things. Sometimes we see freedivers wearing nose clips and goggles, specifically in the pool. You might see that. When we wear goggles that don't cover our nose like this one, there's no way for us to equalize this airspace. So in diving in the pool, you're not going deep enough that you have to equalize the airspace around your face, but you can't wear this in the open water unless these are filled with water. It is really nice to dive down and do a deep dive and not to have to think about equalization. So if you ever have the opportunity to dive with just a nose clip, I highly recommend it. How these work, they just sit on your nose. They're kind of uncomfortable to pull off, but when diving, instead of having to hold my nose and equalize, I can just dive in a perfectly streamlined position and just equalize. Same thing when I'm diving in the pool and I'm still, a meter or 2 under the water depending on the pool depth. And so I do equalize my ears, and that is a lot nicer to do this than to break my streamline and to equalize. There's a lot of different options for nose clips. Some of them have a rubber or silicone inside. Some of them are smooth. They have different shapes. These are for different noses. So again, different kinds of gear. I have a stopwatch in my kit because I like to train with other people, and in training in the pool, we like to know the timing. And then I want to talk about dive watches a little bit. So if you're showing up to your first freediving course, you are not required to have a full dive watch that tells you your depth and time. These do get real fancy. They'll tell you your ascent rate, your descent rate. They can tell you your heart rate monitor. a lot of things about your body, which can be really nice, but honestly, for somebody that's new, some of that can be too much information. So for your first freediving course, you should just have a simple waterproof watch that you can have a stopwatch feature on. And we need this to know because we need to know how long our buddy's been underwater. If you want to be on the surface and counting in your head, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, that can work, but that's not super safe. It's a conversation you want to have with your buddy. How long are you going to be diving? So somebody says, I typically dive under the water for a minute. It's very important that you know when that minute has come and gone. That's how we stay safe for each other.